I was thinking of a way to impress upon you how deceptive the conversation is about our white-hating society. You know the chant, "Kill the farmer, kill the Boer"? It is chanted by a bloodthirsty South African politician. Julius Malema is his name. Let me put it to you bluntly. If your first response to it is, well, what is this, Marxism, maybe identity politics, you are in serious trouble. You're going to come short in the survival department. In South Africa, inciters of black on white violence are known to rile the crowds with this anti-white chant. Born into freedom after 1994, these haters can hardly read and write. So then, is a complex political theory, Marxism, driving illiterates to act out against whites so ruthlessly? To listen to American analysts, this is indeed the case. They have certainly coated the sustained ethnocidal attacks ongoing against white South Africans with this more respectable, explanatory veneer. This notion is made in America, and it's suicidal nonsense. The South African National Congress's problem, the ANC's problem, is not communism, it's white-hot hatred of whites. This is not to say that there are no communistic elements and trends in the South African economy. There most certainly are. But likewise, the economies of the West are at best third-way systems too. They are neither free nor entirely state-controlled. As an organizing principle, however, South Africa's political, economic, and social institutions are firmly anti-white. They dispossess whites as a principle. Stateside, institutionalized systemic anti-whiteness, combined with white-hot hatred of whites, is fast becoming entrenched across state and civil society. It's inarguable. In practice, whites are being singled out for a punishing, institutionalized program of reeducation, subjugation, and continued intimidation. The tarring of whites is now close to becoming a curricular requirement in education, primary, secondary, and post-secondary. And from entertainment to technology, anti-white racial justice is the all-important object of industry, of the corporate world. What makes this so dangerous is the inability of media conservatives and the conservative cognoscenti, intelligentsia in general, to come out with it, to say it plain and simple. Too many conservatives euphemize our anti-white culture. Any anti-white outrage of the day they will dub as identity politics. Boo-hoo, Democrats are dividing us via identity politics. This is obfuscation. Here's why. Blacks are not being set against Hispanics. Hispanics are not being sicked on Asians. And Native Indians, Amerindians, aren't being urged to attack the groups I just mentioned. Rather, they're all piling on honky. This is why I say this is anti-white politics or animus. The multicultural multitudes are gunning for whites and their so-called privilege. When they are not lamenting Democrat-driven divisive identity politics, conservatives complain that the anti-white theoretical kudzu, as in weed, invading every aspect of life, is a manifestation of the radical left's Marxism. This too is wrong, and it downplays the anti-white project of peddlers of critical race policy prescriptions. Anti-white ideology is not to be equated, as conservatives habitually do, with Marxist ideology. Communism did not revolve around the exclusive blackening of whites. That is critical race theory's central project. It's its program. Conservatives are simply confusing similarities in the methods of current thugs and communism's mass murderers. The anatomy of thuggery is always quite similar. The foot soldiers of communism, fascism, and the American left are kind of similar. They are alike. because the methods of thugs are alike, not because critical race policies and practices amount to communism. Confusing Americans about the anti-whiteness gripping the country does a disservice to, how shall I put it, the pigmentally cancelled. Because clear language and clear thinking mediate adaptive actions. To escape into wrong-headed theory retards adaptive, proactive action. So, ditch these intellectual crutches. Concentrate on the crux. You are dealing with anti-whiteism. Communism, Marxism, identity politics serve here as respectable intellectual crutches. Most important, if quibbling about communism and identity politics becomes an obstacle to facing the reality of systemic anti-whiteness, then these theoretical crutches by definition are an assault on reality and therefore a grave mistake.